it's time for IP in the news. And who do we have on the chopping block this evening?
Well, Apple. So most people think of Apple as a tech company, but they do consumer products too. But they have a new product that is near and dear to my heart. I'm hoping it's out and manufactured by the next time we go on a long flight. It is a wearable electronic device. It's a sleep mask, but you could play your music through your sleep mask. It has bone conduction technology, so you don't have to use your microphone or your headphones anymore. And it can also monitor different things, which I don't know if I like that part.
Yeah, I'm monitoring your sleep. Yeah.
But it's pretty cool because you could put it on and have your music and it's all in one place.
Well, that is pretty cool. What I do like about it from the pictures is that you can roll over on your side, right? So whenever I try to like lay down and I have my earbuds in, I roll over on my side and it's like the earbud gets like shoved into my ear and it becomes very uncomfortable. So I like that part of it too. And also, I like a dark environment where I sleep, and this is very conducive to that. So you can, put your blinders on and sleep anywhere.
Right. So the patent issued yesterday. We're taping this on March 30th, 2022. It issued yesterday. So I'm really hoping
you are so on top of it. That's very timely.
Luck. So to all of you entrepreneurs out there, to people who say everything that could be created under the sun has been created, not true. People are still getting patents on new products. And if you can mix tech and consumer products together, there's a whole lot that you can do. So keep inventing.
Right. And, there was even a commissioner of the patent office that once said back in the 1800s that everything that has been invented has already been invented, so that there was no new technology out there. And,
I think Mark Zuckerberg said that too.
he was wrong. I mean, he just completely blew it on that one. So
keep inventing, everybody. We love these new products.
Anyway, it's time for Richard's Roundtable, where we give our guests a chance to comment on what they just heard or ask any other intellectual property question that comes to mind. So our first guest is Merritt Kahn. And Merritt, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. What do you think about? Yeah. What do you think about the last comment you heard?
Well, I'm a little nervous about that. It's possible that I'm a little too skeptical, but my first thought is, it sounds great because I love to listen to things before I go to sleep. The boring podcast, not this one, but other ones. I like to nod off to sleep. But now I'm wondering, if they can tell what stage of REM we are in, what, the next level is, well, there's going to be an advertising message that's going to go directly into your brain and you're the vulnerable part of your sleep. And I'm going to wake up like, I don't know why I need to travel to Zimbabwe, but I have to buy a ticket.
I'm in the mood to buy a new car. I don't.
Who knew? I need another device. So I'm gonna be in the camp of just a little bit afraid of that for now.
Yeah, I don't blame you because I'm on the same side you are. They had me until they started talking about monitoring things, and there's all sorts of things that happen in bed that you don't necessarily want monitored. And
I don't know what you're doing at that point. So
but I have a Garmin watch and it tracks my sleep. And sometimes I like it, but I know it's all being sent back to the servers at Google or Amazon, and somebody's selling that information, and it's discomforting to know. But on the other hand, it's kind of cool to see how much sleep you got. So Chris, what is your take on all this?
So my take is Apple comes from a line of history that they like to keep people's privacy. If you look at the way they do things, they're one of the best companies out there to help you keep your privacy. The iPhone itself is probably the most secure phone that's on the market. If you're building apps, you'll understand the privacy. They actually take a look at every single app and make sure that it's not taking information. They give you all the different kinds of warnings from a consumer standpoint. So the fact that they're coming out with this product, it seems pretty cool to me.
So you're not worried that somebody's going to be tracking your sleep?
He does have a security company. That's what he does.
Oh, so you would know. Okay.
So he knows better than the rest of us.
Well, that's kind of comforting to hear, because I mean, you do hear about big data, right? And that's where the money is, right? So they have to be collecting this, data from someplace. And so if they're not getting our sleep data, that's great. And maybe it's just Apple, but I just think that there's a general fear out about that. So what do you think about that?
Fear comes from the unknown.
Uh-huh.
So if people understood the technologies, I think they would be less fearful. It's the fact that they don't understand what's going on. What's the data going back and forth? Well, you can be guaranteed that people will take it apart and make sure that the data going back and forth is only what you want to be going back and forth. And that's what people do for a living, right? They'll take apart different technologies and see what actually is happening in the background, and they'll report on it. If Apple did that kind of stuff, you would know, trust me.
Well, that's comforting, and I appreciate the input. So maybe I will buy these if they become available.
Okay, who's next?
Kenya, of course.
So I'm just curious to know, I'm sure they're a smart company and they've done a lot of market research, but I wonder how many people actually wear masks to go to sleep. I'm not one of those people because I feel like I don't like to sleep with anything on my face, and I would probably wake up very startled. So I'm just curious to know how much data they have on actual mask wearers, and if that is the best, device or feature in terms of like allowing people to listen to music comfortably while they sleep. Because I just don't think there'd be a lot of people who'd want to wear a mask, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, after what we just went through with COVID, maybe you're right.
Right.
Yeah, I know. You're worried somebody's going to come into your room at night, right, and scare you. But
I could see it for the airplane, though, definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
There's a market
and
there.
other places like that, maybe not every night to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably adjust it so it just goes over your head and doesn't necessarily have to go over your eyes. Maybe but I mean, you bring up a good point.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Apple is so big that usually they only invest in things that have mass market appeal, and you really wonder if they would invest in a kind of tiny niche product like this. So,
Mhm.
so that's a really good point. I mean, if I were going to face a firing squad, I would like to have that kind of blindfold where I could listen to my favorite tunes before I go. So it could have applicability in third world countries or something. But anyway, Scott, what are your thoughts?
I think the big difference between the mask and, let's say, your Garmin watch is Garmin watch is really only able to monitor your heart rate, maybe your blood oxygen level, versus something that actually has a direct ability to feed back to you via your ears, what you can hear. Your Garmin's not able to talk to you in the way that you would have something on your head. And the other thing is being able to track eye movements is something your Garmin watch isn't doing. And there's a lot of psychiatry and that, let's say, biofeedback from your eye movements. So I think, there's a big difference between something keeping your heart rate and something that can not only keep your heart rate, but then talk to you while you're in a altered state of being asleep. So, and I do think there is a big market for eye masks. I mean, walk into Bed Bath and Beyond, and there's, a pretty big section of them for sale. I don't have any of the Talk 2 units in my house because, for that very reason, is when you're asleep, you're in a very easily manipulated state.
Well, I think I read or I dreamed this, I don't know, that they could actually adjust the music you're listening to based on trying to help you sleep better. And I mean, if that happens, then you really are under someone else's control.
Well, yeah, that's my point. I mean, your watch, having something that monitors your heart rate, I think actually is a good thing. It is good for people to understand, am I getting good sleep? someone else making what fundamentally are medical decisions of manipulating your sleep state, that's where you start to get into a little bit of,
Right. That's where it gets a
concern.
little bit scary. But anyway, it's an interesting
I
concept.
may